I'm Jay Addison from EventChain.io for Investment Pitch Media and FinTech News Network. Today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Marc O'Brien, the CEO of Crypterium. Marc, how are you doing today?
Great, thanks, Jay. Glad to be with you.
Excellent. Tell us about Crypterium and how it will reshape the banking industry.
So Crypterium had a fantastic initial coin offering back in November, and we delivered a white paper that was all about revolutionizing for everyday spending, instant liquidity, ways to spend your cryptocurrency at the point of sale online and spend it immediately.
Yeah, now I understand that your system is supposed to be one of the fastest and easiest ways to transfer cryptocurrency to another person. Can you tell us a little bit more about that feature?
Yeah, so our whole proposition is aimed at really overturning the delays in the banking industry. And when you try and send money overseas, for instance, through the traditional bank cycle, it can take up to 3 days to clear and settle through organizations like SWIFT. And even if you want to send cryptocurrency across countries, there is a delay in getting all the blockchains to update and enough nodes to actually update. And even then, the user experience is actually quite clumsy, where you have to copy and paste links. So our new solution, a new service that we're bringing out, we're beta testing this week and we'll go live next week, is for people to be able to send cryptocurrency immediately to anyone in their contacts, and for that to be sent on the first node update. So really super fast. It would take less than 2 seconds to find the function, pay somebody in crypto in your contact database, and send crypto to their mobile phone. That's just one of many use cases that we're bringing to the market.
That sounds pretty amazing, and I know that is probably the weakest link in the whole cryptocurrency sector, is that speed of transactions. So it sounds like you guys are really attacking the pain point in the industry. So Crypterium also has other services that they offer for those that are, have had bad experiences in the banking industry, which pretty well everyone has. So tell us a little bit about some of those other services that Crypterium offers.
Sure. There's a whole wide range of services that we offer. The first one is actually a global use case for people to top up their mobile phone. So wherever you are in the world, you can actually use Bitcoin and Ether or Litecoin to top up your mobile, and that again will be super fast redemption. It's delivered on the first node update. So anyone with a prepaid mobile phone, which is 3.5 billion people in the world, can actually now use cryptocurrency to top up their mobile. That's just one service that we're offering. The other area that we aim to offer services in is for what I would call IBAN payment transfers. So that's you being able to pay bills or pay another account. And another use case is actually to attach a card, a Visa, MasterCard, Union Pay card, and for people to be able to go to the point of sale or online and make payments in the way that they would do with a card payment today. But instead of funding their cards with their own fiat balances, they're going to be able to pay with their crypto balances. So it just means that people can hold balances in crypto and liquidate them immediately at the point of sale. This is really important for many countries where there's low liquidity of the domestic currency. Some markets, I just remember back 10 years ago, that there was a, if you like, a government theft of deposits in Cyprus, where the government took 10% of everyone's bank balance. And that's something that clearly can't happen in the cryptocurrency world. The other thing is, of course, that in some countries there's different levels of volatility with the currency, and it's hard to actually make merchant payments to merchants in those countries in stable hard currencies. And what we're seeing is that there's a group of consumers out there that wants to be able to pay with their crypto much more than even hold their own fiat country currency.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think that new generation is kind of tired of the old system and ready for something new. What are your assumptions on the user base? Let's say 3 years from now, how many people do you think you'll have on the system?
Well, it's absolutely a hugely growing market, and just last year, we were predicting that there were some 10 million active crypto users in the world. So 10 million out of a population of 8 billion isn't many. But by this year, we estimate that that number has tripled. So there are 30 million active users, and when we look around the world where those active users of crypto are, they are genuinely global. There's 1/3 of that crypto user base out in Asia Pacific, in some key markets like Japan and South Korea, Singapore and Hong Kong and Australia, and then a third of the global user base is the US. US is an absolutely key market. And then a third in the rest of the world, spread between Europe, Latin America, Canada, and Africa. So for us, in order to have a proposition that reaches that user base of 30 million today, we do genuinely have to have a global service to reach all of those customers in all of those regions. I mean, to your point about, what will it look like in 3 years' time? Our models are saying that we're on a trajectory where this market is at least doubling every year. So 30 million today becomes 60, becomes 120, becomes 240 out in 3 years' time. So there's been a real uptick in interest in cryptocurrencies over the last 12 months in particular. And there was a spike back in November, December of huge interest, which of course drove some of the cryptocurrency prices up. I think those have normalized out now and are back at levels that are less volatile in the marketplace. And what we're seeing is huge interest from people that are saying, I've got a reason for sending money overseas, and I get charged 7-8% by my bank and my credit card issuer. There must be a cheaper way to do it, and using Crypterium will most definitely be a much cheaper way to do it, and faster.
And who do you see the largest users of the app? Would it mainly be the unbanked?
I think today the main people that are vested in cryptocurrencies are already banked. And when I talk about cryptocurrencies, I mean the core ones like Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, and so on. There are clearly other models where quasi-cryptocurrencies are being used. If you like, M-Pesa in Africa is a huge mobile-to-mobile e-money service, and you could call that a crypto service, but it's not a blockchain-based service that we're talking about. So when it comes to the marketplace today for cryptocurrency users, it does seem to me that the earlier adopters are going to be people that are technology savvy and probably already banked, but want to diversify their assets from fiat holdings into crypto and maybe other asset classes like gold, stocks and shares and so forth as well. So I think the leading edge of it is definitely developed world. But one of our use cases, like the mobile top-up one that I mentioned earlier in the conversation, these are services that work well for the developing world. And even in our demonstration, I actually did a top-up to one of my Kenyan friends, made him a mobile top-up in Kenyan shilling, wow. And it arrived within 2 minutes. So I did a top-up from London. It arrived on his mobile in Kenya 2 minutes later. So I think there are some use cases that we can really use to help the developing world come into the fold of making cryptocurrency mainstream.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. So let's talk about the Crypterium tokens, because I understand you guys have the token on your platform. How does that integrate into the system?
Yeah, so we launched our initial coin offering with our token. It's called CRPT, short for Crypterium, of course. And we're listed on 2 exchanges at the moment. And the token that we have is designed to be used as gas for the transactions. So in the same way that you burn Ether on the Ethereum network, when you're making payment transactions on our network, we're also using our tokens as gas for the transaction. So when a customer makes a $100 transaction, 50 cents worth of Crypterium tokens will be burnt as gas for that transaction. And if you make it, look at it from the perspective of the card world, they have a similar model. They have what they call interchange fees. These essentially fees that pay for the use of the network and the service. So when we launched our ICO back in November, we had a fixed supply of fully mined 100 million tokens. We're not mining any more tokens, so that is the fixed supply. And of course, if we're burning them, that fixed supply goes down over time. And as we bring new customers into the service and as tokens are burnt, the supply goes down. And of course, theoretically, economic law pervades, and the token price will go up in line with that kind of reducing supply.
Yeah, that makes absolute sense. Let's talk about the business model for Crypterium. How do you plan on making profit?
So our profit, because we're not making profit from the Crypterium tokens, they're all fully mined. They were out there back in November. So we're not mining any more tokens, and we're not receiving any for any payment. So these are network usage, network utility tokens that will be burnt down. So we're not making money from that. What we will make money from is a small spread on the conversion of cryptocurrency to fiat for all of the use cases where we make that conversion. So when we do a mobile transfer, somebody transfers Bitcoin to one of their friends, we don't make money on that transaction at all, but our network costs have already been paid for by the token purchase. But when a customer, for instance, makes a card payment, let's say it's a Union Pay payment, and they pay for shopping in a store in London, and the card comes from the Philippines, then there's a conversion charge that we will apply from Bitcoin to UK sterling. So what we're making is a small spread on the FX, if you like, of the crypto to fiat.
That sounds fantastic. Crypterium certainly sounds like something that could be an app that could be in everybody's back pocket, because it sounds like it's something that really provides a service that is not available right now, certainly with the speed and everything else. How can people learn more about Crypterium and get involved in the project?
Yeah, so we absolutely want to make Crypterium aware to as many people as possible. So coming on shows like yours is obviously a key way of reaching huge numbers of people. But for people to get involved more, we do have a Facebook page, we have a Telegram chat service, and what we're trying to do is get our services live in as many countries as possible. So wherever you are in the world, whether you're in South Korea or Singapore or San Jose, we want to be able to provide customers with a service that works for you locally in your market. But in terms of getting involved, I would say, join the Telegram chat, join the Facebook live streams that we do, and connect with me over LinkedIn. I would be delighted to hear from you and to explain our services and hopefully get you on board as a customer.
That sounds great. Now, what's the website address for anybody that wants to go directly to the website, Marc?
So it's crypterium.com.
Fantastic.
So CRYPTERIUM.com.
Marc O'Brien, CEO of Crypterium. It's certainly been a pleasure having you on Blockchain Interviews today, and hopefully we can do a follow-up interview in the near future so that our viewers can keep track of your progress.
Thank you very much, Jay.
Thanks, Marc. Take care.